Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello out there, internet land. We're just going to give it 10 seconds for Instagram to catch up to us as usual, and then we will get started with our wonderful topic, which I'm very excited about, which has to do with joy and how there's more than one kind of happiness, it turns out. So, all right. Instagram seems to be ready to play ball. Okay, so good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of DIY Wellness. I'm your host, Brian Hogan, life coach, filmmaker, clinical therapist, founder of the S.H.I.F.T model. The S.H.I.F.T stands for Somatic, Holistic, Internal Family Transcendence, and it's a way of regulating our nervous system while meeting the parts of us that still struggle so that we can find our way and navigate our way in the world with peace, joy, freedom, care freedom, and actual lasting happiness. Lasting happiness is what I want to talk about today, the anatomy of happiness specifically, and 3 ways that your joy is actually looking for you. Haha, see the titles. I'm getting used to still the software after 3 years. Okay, so the anatomy of happiness. 3 ways joy is looking for you is near and dear to my heart because we tend to misunderstand happiness. We're told to chase it, but most of us don't even know what we're chasing. So we run and we run and we run and we end up exhausted and confused and wondering why it's not working. So there isn't one kind of happiness, though. There are at least 3, and each one is trying to help you. So we need to understand happiness better, how it works, and how to actually keep it. Because we're all chasing it, but most of us don't actually understand what we're chasing. And that's the problem. Because when you don't understand something, you can spend your entire life pursuing it and still feel like you're missing it. And that's what I see happening with happiness. It's what's happened with my happiness at times. We've been taught to chase it, but not taught how it actually works. Because we think there is one single kind of happiness and we should know how to become happy already, right? But there isn't one kind of happiness. There are at least 3 different ways that happiness shows up in our lives. And if you don't know the difference between them, then you're going to keep chasing the wrong ones at the wrong time. So there are 3, and they are the 3 that we're going to discuss today anyway are pleasure-driven happiness, purpose-driven happiness, and meaning-driven happiness. And so let's just jump right into it. This first kind of happiness, pleasure-driven happiness, says, I want to feel good right now. And there's nothing wrong with this, literally nothing. This is part of being human. Your brain is literally wired for this. You have entire systems in your body designed to seek pleasure, to avoid pain, and to reinforce behaviors that feel good. So there is no flaw in this. It is biological, but it has its limits. So pleasure doesn't last. That's the thing. It rises and it falls. If you build your life around chasing pleasure, you end up in this loop where you feel good for a moment and then you drop, and then you chase the next thing and then you drop, and then the next thing and then you drop. And that's a recipe for burnout. And eventually it stops working in the same way. There's this thing called the law of diminishing returns. So things that brought you like level 10 pleasure eventually start to bring you level 9 pleasure, and then level 8, and then you need new and different things. And so the cycle of pleasure seeking becomes an endless chase, and it feels like a chase. And that's when people start to think, well, something must be wrong with me. But nothing is wrong with you. You're just trying to get a long-term happiness experience from a short-term happiness system. Pleasure was never meant to carry your entire life. And that brings us to happiness type number 2, which is purpose-driven happiness. So we have to pivot to purpose, and we move into what I would call purpose-driven happiness. This is goals, achievement, growth, contribution, building something. This is the kind of happiness that says, my life is going somewhere. And this is powerful because purpose gives us direction. So we have pleasure that gives us reward and an instant feeling of like a good feeling. And then we have purpose. It organizes our energy. It helps you get out of bed in the morning. It creates momentum. And there's a reason for that, because when you move toward a goal, your brain releases dopamine. But the key here is that this is not the dopamine about reward. It's about anticipation. It's about movement. It's about something meaningful is ahead of me. So purpose feels good, not because you've arrived, but because you're moving, because you're becoming, because you're in process. But this one also has its limits, and this one can break down too. So if you're not careful, purpose can turn into pressure. It can turn into, I'll be happy when. or I just need to get there, or once I achieve this, then I can relax. And suddenly you're living in the future, almost there, always, always, almost, but never actually there. So now we've got pleasure, feels good, but doesn't last. Purpose gives direction, but can become exhausting. And this is where most people live. This is where I lived for a big chunk of my life. We bounce around between chasing pleasure and chasing purpose. And then we still feel like something is missing. And that brings me to happiness type number 3, meaning driven happiness. Excuse me. Meaning driven happiness is like rocket fuel. This is the piece that changes everything and that brings happiness from a chase, from something fleeting to something that you can build on a rock, on a foundation that can last your whole life long. That's meaning driven happiness. Because meaning driven happiness is not about what you feel, it's not about what you achieve, it's about what you make things mean. Meaning is the ability to look at your life and decide, what is this for me? There's a whole branch of therapy called narrative therapy and scores of research about how when people create an empowering meaning, it actually increases their resilience, it increases their internal sense of coherence, and it increases their ability to show up in the world in the way they want to, that's aligned with their values. So this is a part of you that can take a hard moment, a confusing moment, or even a painful moment and relate to it in a way that creates more coherence for you, more clarity. This is what allows people to go through incredibly difficult things and not just survive them, but transform through them and ultimately thrive in spite of them. Because meaning changes the experience, not the event, the experience. And there's research on this. When people can create meaning from their experiences, their resilience will increase, their well being will increase, and their ability to navigate life will increase. So, and we see this across traditions. Viktor Frankl said, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." So, meaning is not something you find, it's something you create. And that's why I call this rocket fuel, because if you can create meaning, you are no longer dependent on circumstances at all. You don't need everything to feel good. You don't need anything to go your way. You don't even need anything to make sense right off the bat, because you can step in and you can say, what does this mean for me? What am I going to decide this means? And so now let's integrate this, because we realize they can work together. That's how we do integration. Pleasure is not bad. Purpose is not bad. Meaning is not better than the others. They all have a role. Pleasure gives you energy. Purpose gives you direction. Meaning gives you depth. The problem is not that we have these systems. The problem is that we get stuck in one, or we try to get one to do the job of the other. So we try to get pleasure to give us meaning, or we try to get purpose to give us peace, or we try to get outcomes to give us our sense of identity. And then the disconnect happens. So instead of asking, how do I become happy? We want to start asking, where am I looking for pleasure? Where am I living through purpose? And what meaning am I creating about my life? Because joy is not something you chase. It's something that's already showing up in different forms. It is looking for you. Ancient Sufi poet Rumi, he wrote, "What you seek is seeking you." And I don't know anybody out there that is not seeking joy in some form. So trust me, it's seeking you back. And when you learn how to recognize those forms in which it's trying to come, and some are meaning, some are purpose, and some are pleasure, but pleasure is the most fleeting. So you recognize these other forms and you work with them instead of against them. Something shifts and you stop needing to chase happiness and you start relating to your life in a way that makes it apparent to you that joy is right there near you. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. And from there, everything changes. So pleasure is the spark, purpose is the engine, and meaning is the rocket fuel. If you rely on only pleasure, you're going to feel empty ultimately. If you rely on only purpose, you're going to feel exhausted ultimately. If you develop meaning, then you become unstoppable. So today we're not choosing one. We're going to meet all three and we're going to introduce them to each other. So what I want you to do now is just get comfortable, take a breath, allow yourself to shift into being even 10% more comfortable than you are right now, and just let your body settle. We're going to do a shift practice, the somatic, holistic, internal family transcendence, to meet the three parts of you that are trying to bring you happiness through pleasure, through purpose, and through meaning. None of them are wrong. Okay? So begin tapping with me on the side of your hand. And just remember that this is an eyes open and repeat after me practice, meaning you don't have to worry about where the tapping points are and you don't have to worry about what to say. That said, if you know the tapping points really well and you want to close your eyes, that's not wrong. And also, if anything I say doesn't resonate as completely true for you and your system also and your parts, then repeat it, or then rather don't repeat it and change it to something in real time that does resonate for you, because the ingredients that really shift this stuff and help us transcend and heal our trauma are safety and truth. The tapping helps us create the safety as well as this healing container together. And what you say creates the truth. So only say the truth, what feels like your truth in that moment. Even though part of me just wants to feel good right now, I acknowledge that part. Even though I sometimes chase comfort or distraction, I honor how it helps me cope. Even though this part just wants relief, I am open to meeting it. Top of the head. I just want to feel good. Eyebrow. I want relief. Side of the eye. I want comfort. Under the eye. I want ease. Under the nose. I want this feeling to go away. Chin. This pleasure-seeking part. Collarbone. It's trying to help me. Under the arm. And it just wants me to feel okay. Okay, pause there, stop tapping, and just tune into your internal experience. You can put your hand on your heart if that helps you. Just tune in to what this part really needs underneath the urge for pleasure. Just see if it's willing to share. Nothing is wrong. Your parts can't get this wrong, and you can't get this wrong. Just see what's driving this pleasure-seeking part. See if it's willing to share that with you. And when you're ready, you can just begin tapping again with me on the side of your hand, nice and slow. And we'll move into round 2. We're going to meet your purpose-driven part. Even though part of me wants to achieve and move forward, I honor that drive. Even though I feel pressure to be productive, I acknowledge that part. Even though I sometimes tie my worth to progress, I am open to meeting this part. Top of the head. I need to move forward. Eyebrow. I need to do something meaningful. Side of the eye. I need direction. Under the eye. I need progress. Under the nose. I need to accomplish something. Chin. This purpose-driven part holds all of these beliefs. Collarbone. It wants my life to matter. Under the arm. This part is trying to guide me. Okay, pause there. Place your hands over your heart and take a nice slow, deep breath in through your nose and a long, slow exhale through pursed lips. And just tune into your experience and check in with this purpose-driven part and see, what is this part hoping your life will become? See if it's willing to share. What does it hope for you? What is it trying to pursue or achieve or accomplish for you? Even if sometimes it pushes too hard or goes too fast. See if it's willing to share its intention. And just sit with that, with whatever comes up, knowing there's nothing to judge and nothing is bad or wrong here, just the truth. When you're ready, slowly join me again, tapping on the side of your hand. And we're going to meet the meaning making part. Even though I don't always know how to make meaning from my life, I'm open to learning. Even though some experiences feel pointless or painful, I'm willing to explore them differently. Even though this feels unfamiliar, I am open to creating meaning. Top of the head. What if I could create meaning? Eyebrow. What if this matters? Side of the eye. What if this experience has value? Under the eye. Even the hard parts. Under the nose. Even the confusing parts. Chin. I can choose what this means. Collarbone. I can shape my story. Under the arm. I can create meaning. Okay, pause here and just sit with that. Sit with that idea that you can choose and create meaning from the circumstances that happen to you and around you. What meaning could you give to your current experience that feels empowering? Just sit with that. Is it even possible to find an empowering meaning, or a slightly different meaning, a neutral meaning even, if one you have right now is negative, for your current experience? And just tune into that. And when you're ready, begin tapping again with me on the side of your hand. And we're just going to bring this all together, accepting all of these parts. Even though these parts operate differently, I appreciate all of them. Even though they sometimes conflict, I acknowledge their effort. Even though I don't always balance them well, I am open to accepting them. Top of the head. All these parts inside of me. Eyebrow. The pleasure part. Side of the eye. The purpose part. Under the eye. The meaning part. Under the nose. All trying to help. Chin. None of them are wrong. Collarbone. They all serve a role. Under the arm. They all belong. So tune in here and just slow it down. Put your hands on your heart if that feels aligned, and then just reflect on what happens when you stop judging these parts and start working with them. What changes? Are there any soft, subtle, even minuscule changes in your system as you endeavor to accept and understand all the ways in which your parts are trying to make you happy? Just sit with that. We're going to do one more round here and then a short visualization to close. Even though I don't always know how to create meaning, I'm willing to try. Even though I may fall back into old patterns, I offer myself grace. Even though this is a process, I trust myself to grow. Top of head. I can create meaning. Eyebrow. I can choose my perspective. Side of the eye. I can grow through experience. Under the eye. I can offer myself grace. Under the nose. When it's hard. Chin. When I forget. Collarbone. When I struggle. Under the arm. I'm still learning, and that's okay. So stop tapping here. Just allow yourself to settle in for a moment And contemplate what it would look like to live today with just a little more meaning and a lot more grace. Now imagine standing in your life in the center of a wide open field, and you see your pleasure part, light, playful, trying to bring joy. Your purpose part, steady, focused, guiding direction. And your meaning making part, wise, expansive, shaping your story. They're no longer competing, they're working together. Recognizing pleasure brings energy, purpose brings direction, and meaning brings depth. And in the center is you, the one who holds all three, the inner wizard, calm, clear, choosing. Take a breath. Just let that land. Joy isn't something you chase. It's already looking for you in 3 different ways. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. If this episode resonated with you, then please share this video with someone who might appreciate this message. And if you have any questions or experience with this topic, please share in the comments. We would love to have your back as you endeavor to take personal growth into your own hands. Because remember that DIY wellness means do it yourself, but that does not mean you have to do it all by yourself. So I will be back again next week at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. Until then, keep taking personal growth into your own hands. I trust you, humanity. Much